Do you find yourself having the same argument with your partner over and over again? Well, that argument you're having, it's not really about what happened, it's about what it means. Today, we're going to uncover what conflict is actually trying to tell you, and by the end of this episode, you'll be able to approach disagreements with curiosity instead of defensiveness. Let's get into it. It is another great week here at the Home to Haven podcast. Welcome. We are so happy you've joined and tuned in, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or an audio platform or there on YouTube. It is a wonderful, wonderful day. You found your home for faith-filled content that will help you communicate in your relationship. We are the Turners. And it's going to be a wonderful episode today. I'm really excited about this one.
Okay.
I love getting into discussions, especially about a conflict resolve. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. But today's a very special day.
It is.
Dun,
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 dun.
Really?
We didn't even plan that.
We did not plan that.
What day is it?
Today's my birthday.
It's your birthday. Officially
45.
1 year older. I wasn't going to tell everybody.
That's okay.
But okay. Mid-40s.
Mid-40s.
Mid-40s. Here we come.
Here we come. Here we
So
is.
happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Send Terrell your happy birthday wishes to him today.
Well, thank you.
March 25th.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. We're also in the middle of March Madness.
We are.
Hopefully, I love that time of the year. I love seeing the game winner, buzzer beaters, and all the drama. So super excited. Good day. So
Absolutely.
Thank you. If you get anything from a value from the episode and the conversation that we have, if you find it bless you and encourage you, gave you some little nuggets, if you'll just take a half of a second and click the thumbs up, that'll be amazing. Right. And subscribe, and you get more content. If you're listening, please do a review quickly.
Yeah.
And it just helps the algorithms push the content, help us rank a little bit higher so more people find us.
That's right. We love to hear your feedback. So keep the reviews coming, like you said. Let us know what you agree, disagree, or even what you want us to talk about next.
That's right.
We love those
we do love those
suggestions.
suggestions. Absolutely. So we're not really fighting about the dishes, or
Are we?
what are we talking about?
We are discussing the common arguments that most couples experience at some point in their relationship. We're going to talk through, are you really disagreeing about things like the dishes, or is there something underlying that is really what your conflict is actually about?
Yeah, for sure.
So we brought up dishes. That seems to be a common theme. I know that's something we actually went through about the dishes, or maybe still do. Leaving dishes in the sink,
that.
or not cleaning up after yourself, or things like that.
So was you talking about the dishes, or was it something else?
Well, it was about the dishes, because we've talked about this, I think, before on the podcast, but you'll leave dishes in the sink that are dirty, and the dishwasher is right next to the sink. So we've talked about why are we putting the dishes in the sink and leaving them there versus putting them in the dishwasher where they need to be.
All right, today I the salad bowl I rinsed out the top, but I left the bottom in the sink.
Right, that's a daily occurrence. So allowing those little things, which it can be a little thing to some people, it can be a huge thing to other people, right? Allowing that to create conflict, disagreement, resentment, bitterness. I can say, I've asked you before not to leave dishes in the sink.
Okay.
Came home today.
Yep.
What do I see?
Dishes in the sink. Okay.
So I could immediately go off and be like, what's your problem?
Yep.
Why can't you do it? Because you have said, okay, I'll make a better effort at putting the dishes out of the sink into the dishwasher. And I could go on and on about why aren't you following through with what you said, blah, 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 blah. So you understand where we're coming from?
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
You got to let me say it, otherwise I'll lose it.
Okay.
Hopefully, if you'll say it again, it'll come back to me.
Well, you were asking me if the argument really was about the dishes, for us particularly.
I know, but it's gone. And
So-
what did you just ask me now?
So I was saying It is to some degree about the dishes.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it's a big thing, but it's not a big thing. And
Right.
so I'd love to know from you, the audience, please comment and let us know.
Yeah.
But you've always said like, hey, not to tell, it's not a good thing to say you shouldn't feel this way
Correct.
or you
yes.
should feel this way. So, what might be big to you? Because you might say like, that's a big deal. And so if your partner is expressing to them or reacting, it is a big deal to them. If it's not to you,
Right.
okay, but you also have to honor, if they pop their gum and it's like it throws off my equilibrium, you got to be mindful of those things. Even though it's small to you, it's big for them.
Right. And you have to be willing to listen to what they're saying to you,
Yeah.
is what you're getting at.
So should I say, well, that shouldn't bother you?
Which you have said to me before.
Okay.
And that kind of rubs me, a different way of like, how are you telling me what I should feel?
Okay.
Right? Because those are my feelings, right? Everybody likes to speak their truth these
That's
days.
this generation of
Exactly.
these are my feelings,
Right.
and so
They're
you can't
valid.
tell me how
Everybody,
to feel.
that's very a trendy thing to say. Like, my feelings are valid no matter what I think. That's what my feelings are. That's my truth. And so how are you saying I shouldn't feel a certain way?
Okay. Typically, if I've say that, it's because I want to pull you out of a particular mood or situation. An example of that might be, I want to move you out of the problem and I want to move you and focus on the promise. So I don't want you to feel this way. I need you to focus on the promise of what God has said versus if you stay here and you stay stuck in that emotion, then what's going to happen is you're going to walk by sight instead of stepping out in faith and where God is calling us to or pulling you to versus I'm feeling frustrated or this right here when we need to go another way.
Right. And that was actually what you just said, totally different
Okay.
when you're explaining it. And that's actually how we personally worked through that conflict of you saying that to me, was you were explaining the reason behind why you were saying that. But to me, it's totally different if you say you shouldn't feel that way about the dishes
Okay.
versus what did you say instead? I don't want you to feel that way.
Okay.
So to me, that's totally different.
Yeah.
If you're coming and saying, babe, I don't want you to feel that way. I didn't mean, any disrespect by leaving
Okay.
the dishes in the sink. That at least lands to me a lot different than you shouldn't feel that way, because it basically is dismissing the person's feelings.
Okay.
Basically saying it doesn't matter what you feel or your feelings are wrong. So it's very dismissive, or and some people could find that disrespectful.
Okay.
So even the way you phrased it right then, as we're just getting to our first example,
Go for
is
it.
a totally different way.
Okay.
So the underlying point we're trying to make is that you're rarely fighting about that particular task that is in the moment, but instead you're reacting to what that task is actually really representing to you and to your relationship. So that's a totally different kind of frame of mind.
Yeah. So the one example of real life that happened, either it was last year or the year before,
Yeah.
is we were driving in the car and going somewhere, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we're in the car as a family. So all four of us were in the vehicle.
Okay.
And Jaden had a flatulent moment. And I am notorious for my nose is very, very sensitive. I cannot stand I've gone to not even plug-ins, but I have like diffusers in the house now to make sure that our house smells warm and inviting and loving. And why are you making faces already?
It's just funny that this is the topic. But keep going.
Okay. Well, it's my topic. And so he went to a flatulence, and I've always said, like, hey, we're human. I get it. Just say, Daddy, I got a little thing. Can you roll down the windows, please? No problem, dude. Take care of you. You can't sit there, have the windows up, do this silent bomb. No one knows. And then we just smell egg. Like, that just sends me to a 10. So he does this, and I'm at like a 10. Like, I'm already upset. And then you didn't say anything. You were silent, or something you did or did not do.
Okay.
And my reaction was not about the toot. It was about that I felt disrespected. It was about me not feeling validated and that you would confirm when I say, hey, don't do this, or Dad isn't like this. And so it had nothing to do with the toot or whatever. It was more about me not feeling supported in that moment
Gotcha.
when I corrected the children.
Gosh.
That's not a good example.
Well, I understand where you're coming from.
That's my
It's just a
example.
funny example. But basically, either the tone or something you did or didn't do is relaying something that is making you feel a certain way. So for you, you felt disrespected because I think in that moment, speak up and say, we know we've talked about this before. This is how it should go. So you didn't feel supported, right?
Correct, 100%.
So that in and of itself is expectations, right, that aren't being met. And have those been communicated to me before? Not sure. But for some reason that, was the trigger to the conflict.
So another example is I was counseling with a couple, and the wife was saying how the husband would accuse her and basically, you don't love me, you disrespect me, you don't honor me. And it's like, where is this coming from? Like, I cook and, I'm trying to do the best that I can. I don't really understand. And then, it came out, well, he wasn't getting his needs met that he thought he was supposed to be getting.
Right.
Okay, well, that's the issue. So it had nothing to do with disrespect. You were not feeling like your physical needs were being met. And that was the root and the cause of the blow up.
Yeah.
Not that she's this horrendous wife. So to your point, it's important that we vocalize the issue. It's important that we not skirt around or try to be nice or like say what you mean what you say, and say, hey, I'm feeling neglected in this area, or I'm feeling disrespected, instead of accusing. And now it brings up walls and defenses.
Absolutely.
It starts creating resentment and pushing us further and further away because we have not actually vocalized what is really going on the inside of us.
Absolutely. And so when you don't have those conversations or you don't vocalize those things, the root issue to the problem or conflict is never identified. And so what typically will happen is that you're going to start having the same type of issues over and over. So it creates like a cycle. And I know that we've experienced this before. We're like, we've already gone through this before. Like, why are we going through this again?
I've definitely said
like,
it.
This is the
I've already
same
said this
issue.
I've already been down this road. I'm not doing it again. Do your thing.
Right.
So if you find yourself, I'm sure you out there and you had the same issues that they keep surfacing.
Becomes a pattern.
Keep coming up again. Or didn't we just have this conversation? Or every time we hit this, it turned into an argument. It's because the issue has not been resolved.
Right.
Unresolved issues that are buried alive never die. And if you don't deal with it, if you don't bring resolve, it will come up again.
Absolutely.
So how do we do that? In the conversation, we say, are we good? Are we complete? Do you have closure? Do we have a solution? Do you feel comfortable? Are we able to move forward? And if it's no, okay, what else needs to happen?
Right.
What else is not clear? What else needs to happen? Is there forgiveness? What needs to happen to take place so that we can close the door, throw away the key, and this not become an issue again anymore?
Absolutely. So like you said, you need to first pause the initial surface level argument. Look at each other eye to eye, say, let's deal with this. I know my favorite thing you've said to me is, we're a team. Let's work through this. I'm not against you, right? I'm for you. So let's actually figure out what the underlying issue is, or that need that's not getting met, or, is it respect? Is it partnership? What is it that is not working in this moment versus just the surface level argument? And then really getting to the root of that. So like you said, you can fix it. You can take ownership. You can make a plan as a team. We always talk about staying connected as a team to work together through the conflict versus that parallel. You deal with it how you deal with it. I deal with it how I deal with it.
Right.
And you actually come together as a team. And you use those questions, like you said, like to be curious about, like, why does it make you feel that way? Or how does it make you feel? Or even give some names to it. Sometimes it's helpful when you specify, does this make you feel disrespected? Or does this make you feel lonely? Or does this make you feel unsupported? Sometimes that's helpful for me. Just my personality it's harder for me to verbalize things, and you've been really good at helping me talk things out versus just kind of internalizing it and processing it.
Yeah. I want to encourage you as you're listening and watching that conflict actually reveals their need.
Yeah.
It doesn't create. So I was on a call earlier and we're short on time. It was really good. It was about problem solving, and it's how, like, a lot of times, and it was about business,
Okay.
that we go to solve a client's issues or problems thinking we already have the answer.
Yeah.
In coaching couples, we can sometimes think, oh, I know the answer, the solution for this. And so we start giving out solutions without really hearing fully and asking questions
Right.
that open up the real issue. An example of this is that an airport, and I wish it was Charlotte, but an airport did a study about how to improve their services.
Okay.
And the number one complaint from passengers was the baggage
Okay.
claim and the speed, getting off the airline and having to wait 20 minutes for their bags at baggage claim. So what they did, spend a lot of money, improve their efficiencies, a lot of things. They reduce baggage wait time
Okay.
by 50%, right? And you think that was awesome, that was good, right? If we can we can reduce our spend by 50%, like,
Yeah.
hello, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Survey again, number one complaint again was baggage.
Okay.
What they realized was that it wasn't necessarily the baggage claim that was an issue. It was the customers and passengers were getting the baggage claim very quickly. So they redid the routing of the terminals, and they made the customers go around. And so it basically increased their walk time by
Right.
12 minutes.
Okay.
So when they got the baggage claim, bags were there.
Okay.
And the whole point of me sharing that with you guys is a lot of times we go into conversations trying to fix things,
Yeah.
already have
Yeah.
pre-done in our minds
Absolutely.
what we're going to say or what the fix is, instead of let me listen. What is the real issue? It wasn't the baggage. It was actually the speed. And so how can we, as a team, approach something, look at something, and really hear the heart behind what they're trying to say? Because for me, I may not say it the correct way. I may come out kind of goofy. I'm human,
Yeah.
but I love you.
Yeah.
And my intent is great.
Right.
And you have to know that I'm trying to help.
Right.
And you want to have a safe space so that I can share that and also where you can receive it.
Absolutely. And like you said, just really being able to be honest and open with those questions, and knowing that you might think you do, but you might not always know what the other person needs, and being willing to actually listen to understand them versus, okay, well, I know how to fix this, or I know what's right. I know what she's doing wrong. I got the answer to it. So that is a great way to really respond with those questions so that you can actually work through the conflict and actually get past the cycle of those repeated conflicts that so many people have.
100%. So if you're listening and you like, hey, we've been having the same arguments or the same conflicts, it's a great opportunity to have a conversation and bring closure to that issue, because if you don't, it will come back up again. So if you got anything from, hopefully it's a little tips from that, was a like and a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you. Hi at oakhavencompany.com. And if you're looking for conversational starters or some questions you can ask your partner, we've got you covered. This month's freebie is a sample page from our relationship vision planner. And basically what we've done is we've condensed one of our months into a small appetizer for you to kind of go through, and you're able to have some questions, have a mini date night
idea or exercise that you can do together. So it just gives you a quick sample, but a good sample, right, of what our relationship vision planner holds for you. We've done all the work for you, so we've put everything together. We've put a lot of
prayer, thought, time, blood, sweat, tears,
into the
money.
Topics and into the questions that if you're having these conversations as you start your relationship and as you go, like continuously having these important conversations, it's really going to reduce that conflict that you have, because you're aligned, you're on the same page, you know what you're working towards together as a team. So that's a great thing that you can check out. Again, just the sample so that you can get a taste of the actual full planner, which again, you can start anytime. If you haven't heard me say it before, it is undated. So it doesn't have to be January 1st for you to dive into it, but you can start at any time. Month one can be any month that you're ready to prioritize your marriage and really get on the same page.
Any day is a good day to start, and today is a great day. So look in the show notes or in the description, click on the link. It's absolutely free. Of course, if you want to go a little bit further, you're like, hey, I really like this, and we know you will, the link is already in there, oakhavencompany.com. Learn all about the Relationship Vision Planner. And the great thing is it's founded upon the Word of God.
Amen.
We believe success, ultimate success for your relationship is founded upon the Word of God. And so there's script. It's laced with faith. It's laced with the Scripture. It's laced with prayer. We pray over every script, over every planner, and we know it'll bless you very well. So oakhavencompany.com. Everything's in the show notes, and we appreciate you so very much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, like, thumbs up, and subscribe, and we are praying for you. We will see you next week, and remember, wisdom builds the house.